in tech. You need to stop underestimating yourself and gain confidence. Now, what if I told you I had 3 key ways for you to gain that confidence so that you could get the pay that you deserve and excel into leadership? Would you like to know that? Would that make you want to just step out there and close the gender gap that we have in tech? Well, I'm going to tell you how to do that. I'm Trina L. Martin of Trina L. Martin International. I am the queen of equality in tech. I help women of color in tech get the pay that they deserve so that they can excel into leadership positions. Now, ladies, I want to know if you've heard this statistics. Now, research says that women confidence is one of the key reasons for the gender gap in tech. A lack or low level of confidence often hold women back from contributing to their fullest, and it shows that females who had computer science degrees or computer science contractors with 8 years of programming experience were as confident in their skills as their male peers that had less than 1 year of programming. Now, what do you think about that? That's really something to be said. So you're a computer science contractor and you have 8 years worth of programming experience, but your skill and your confidence level and your skills is that of your male peer who has less than 1 year of programming experience. So that means that a man has less experience and less time in the field than you do, but he's more confident than you. And then we wonder why we have such a gender gap, such a pay gap, and such a confidence gap in the tech industry. Well, I'm going to give you 3 ways on how to boost your confidence, things that I've learned in my career along the way that will help you get the pay that you deserve and excel into the leadership position that you want. So here's number 1. Number 1 is take charge of your career. And I know you're saying, I am taking charge of my career. I show up every day, I do a good job. But that's not necessarily taking charge of your career. And I had to learn this the hard way. Well, I learned this from a female officer when I was in the Navy. When I got my commission in the Navy as a new ensign, I had a mentor who she was a female, very senior ranking officer, and she gave me these wise words of advice. She said, take charge of your career because no one else will. Now, we show up to work, we do a good job, and we think that people are going to notice us. They're going to say, hey, good job, Trina, pat you on the back, give you that promotion, give you that pay raise. Well, it doesn't work like that. Yes, we go to work, we show up every day, we do our best, but no one cares. No one takes notice of that. So we, as women in tech, we have to be our own allies. We have to be our own advocates. So we have to go in there and we have to know what we want out of our career, what direction we want to go, how we're going to get there, and we have to make that known. We have to make that known to our managers and our supervisors. We can't just assume that they're sitting around watching us and seeing that, oh, Trina's doing a great job today. So, you know what? I'm going to write that down. And so when it's time for performance review, I'm going to remember this and I'm going to make this part of her package. So when it's time for raises and performance review, I'm going to rate her accordingly. In a perfect world, yes, but we all know this is not a perfect world and it doesn't work like that. So you have to take charge of your career. And that means knowing what you do, putting your plan together for your career and how you want to excel at your career. What is your next step? Do you want to get that promotion to leadership? What is the training that you would like to get? And you have to make these things known because no one knows it but you. And no one's going to get out there and be the advocate or the ally for you in your career like you will. Okay. Number two, own your worth. You are there because you deserve to be there. You have the skills, you have the expertise, you have the education, certifications, whatever that is that got you in the door. You have it. So own that. And I know I have an issue with that as well. And this is another thing I learned in the military is when we got ready for doing our yearly performance reviews, we had to write down everything we did and how we had impact. And you would sit there and I would think and I would say, wow, I did XYZ, but that's what I'm supposed to do, or yeah, I did that. That's no big deal. Well, it is a big deal. And you need to take note of that. And you may think that this is just part of your normal job and you're doing what's what's required of you in your job duties, but make note of that. Make note of that. Own your worth, and also start looking at yourself, looking at your reputation, looking at what you bring to the table as far as your skill sets in the industry. Know that, write down what your credentials are. And when I say credentials, what your education is. Do you have a bachelor's? Do you have a master's? How many certifications do you have? All of that equates to value added to the company and the industry. Also, your expertise. How long have you been in the industry? What are your skill sets? Do you know that new programming language? Are you keeping up on your skills? When I was in tech, I programmed for over 20 years and I would always keep my skills fresh, learning new languages that were not necessarily required of me on the job, but I would buy those books so that when something came up, I could say, oh, I know Python and I can program this in Python. That's easier. And I was able to do it. And then the company, I could say, well, I invested in myself and I learned how to program in Python. And it wasn't a course that was mandated by work. It was something that I took the initiative and did on my own. So that's the second thing. And the third thing and the most important thing is get out there and have impact, have influence. And when I say that, I mean speak up at meetings. Speak up. Your voice needs to be heard. You have an opinion. You have something valuable to say. You bring something to the table. And I know a lot of times that can be very intimidating when you're in a room full of men or you're sitting in a meeting and you're the only female or you're the only woman or the only woman of color. I know you could be like, oh, you know what? I don't want to say anything in this group of men because they're going to give me that eye or ignore me. And that may happen, but you have to keep showing up. You have to keep expressing your views. You have to keep giving your opinion and adding your value to let them know that I'm here and I'm here to stay. And also, not only just doing that as far as what your opinions are, but also speak up as far as when it comes to just women in general, women in tech, and how we are perceived and how things are happening. Once people see you and understand that you have a voice, they will start to make sure that they're intentionally seeing and hearing you. So let's recap. So women in tech, stop underestimating yourselves. Gain that confidence. And here are your 3 steps again to gain that confidence so that you can get that pay you deserve and excel into that leadership position. One is take charge of your career. Nobody's going to do it but you. 2, own your worth. Know you have the skills and the education and you bring a lot of value to that company and the industry. 3, add impact and influence by speaking up, adding your opinion, giving your feedback, because guess what? It all matters. Whether they want to hear it or not, keep showing up and keep doing that. So I just want to say I'm Trina L. Martin, and I want to ask you to come and join my Tech Trifecta coaching program for women of color in tech. If you're out there and you want to get that pay, the promotion, and excel into leadership positions, but you need more work like this one-on-one and on how to do it, come work with me. I'll be glad to do it. The link is below. But other than that, I want you to stop underestimating yourself. Gain confidence, and I'll see you in the next video.